Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the feature race at Belmont Park on Saturday. Race number 9, we're going 1 1/8 on the inner turf for 3-year-olds. Let's take a look at the field for the Grade 2 $400,000 Sands Point Stakes. Let's start our conversation, Mike, with Keeneland graduate number 3, La Coronel. I think after she won the Appalachian, I think after she won the Edgewood, a lot of people were saying that it was La Coronel and not New Money Honey that was the boss of the 3-year-old filly turf division. She ran over in Europe. She was not embarrassed. She came back in the Lake Placid, and she didn't look very good.
No, that wasn't her best performance. I mean, I guess I sort of understand why they took a shot and shipped her over to Ascot. You know, that was just one of those races where it was pretty clear she couldn't go with those horses. I mean, it's not like she got totally embarrassed in there, but you know, you pull the replay of that race and watch it. She was never going to win that race. She couldn't go with those horses. They were too good. I was a little surprised that she was, I'll say, as flat as she was last time at Saratoga. I mean, she got, as far as I could tell, a perfectly good trip in that race, and she had her chance at it and wasn't close to good enough. She better rebound if she's going to win this race.
Not only flat on the track, flat on the tote board, basically from the start. Very cold, very washed out in the paddock and in the post parade. It was almost as if the way they were betting the race, they knew that La Coronel wasn't going to run. Now, that race was contested over a good turf course. The first and second place finishers came from the back of the pack. Yeah. Do you think the pace is faster than it appears the fractions indicate, and that La Coronel kind of tried to make the first move into that race?
No, I don't. I did want to sort of look at the race that way too, though, because I think you're right. If you just look at the fractions on paper and then watch the way that the race was run, you sort of feel like maybe Proctor's legend Uni, who ran 1-2, had all the best of it closing from the back. I don't know, man. I go back through that race again, and I don't think that's the case. I feel like, you know, the horses who were up on the pace just weren't good enough, and the horses that ran 1-2 were way better than them. Well, again, La Coronel has the back races. She could certainly take a step forward in this race, but she better.
Chad Brown has 3 entrants. He's going to get the 8 View Fantastique eventually. This is a group winner in France, although it's interesting that she won her maiden in that Group 3 race as the favorite 2 starts back. Does that make you wonder what she was beating?
It kind of does. Although, listen, they obviously thought highly of her right from the start. I mean, they were running her in group races right along. They gave her a couple of cracks at fellow maidens, and that was it, man. They just ran her in group races right along, including a couple of Group 1s before she broke her maiden 2 starts back. I think this is a good spot for her because I just feel like she might be catching some of these horses at the right time, and in some ways catching them at the right distance too, because I do have some concerns about how far some of these horses want to go, and that's not a problem for her. I just feel like, you know, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, when I went back and pulled a bunch of her replays over there, I wanted to like her more. Even in the win a couple of starts back when they dropped her into that Group 3. I mean, she got it done in there, but I got to say, I wasn't that impressed with her win.
Chad has the 10 Inflexibility, who was 3rd in both the Woodbine Oaks and the Queen's Plate against males. I thought she ran really well in the Queen's Plate, especially since she was kind of squeezed a bit coming out of the gate, in and among horses. She was running at the end of that race. She looked like a mortal cinch on paper going into the Wonder Wear, and coming down to the last 100 yards, it looked like she was going to get beat. She finally took the measure of Enstone, who was stopping to a walk.
Yeah, Enstone just really didn't want to go that far, and it helped Inflexibility get the job done in there. She was very strongly rated early in that race, a very confident ride, but she had to get down to some serious business to get things done at the end of the day there. I thought she ran fine in there. I wasn't thrilled with it. My problem with her really is I thought that she ran really well in the 2 synthetic races that she didn't win. I don't love her turf races. I know that she can win this race, but I don't love her as a turf horse.
Yeah, perhaps she is better as a synthetic wonder. I like the fact that she has given her time since that Wonder Wear. I wonder if that Queen's Plate kind of squeezed the lemon dry, and she won the Wonder Wear over 2 next out winners, including Enstone on class alone. Chad has 55, the number 2, who exits a race that produced 3 next out winners, including the winner, Proctor's Ledge, who came back to win the Lake Placid with a 95 Buyer's speed figure. She was steadied a little bit in the on the back stretch. She didn't exactly have the cleanest trip. I think she's okay. The problem is I think she's only okay. She's yet to really take that forward move since the early spring.
I agree with all that stuff. You know, I feel like she sort of is what she is, and I don't know, you know, she was good for her prior trainer. I don't know that, you know, there's not that much Chad can do to improve this horse. She just sort of is what she is. She ran fine last time. I thought all in all that trip really worked out. She just got out-kicked by the 1-2 finishers. You know, I look at this race and I sort of feel like 1 1/8, okay. Inside post, okay. I think she'll get a good trip in this race. She can get a piece of this.
The number 4, Fault. What a great $50,000 claim by trainer Michelle Lavelle and Connections. I thought 3 starts back that was a terrible loss. Perfect trip, had every chance to win. That race has come back live. Maybe I was way too harsh on Fault. The Tawi was a better effort. And then last time out in the Pucker Up, despite being one of the faster horses in the race coming in,
Yeah.
she fell beneath the cracks. She was 12-1, and she won, and she looked pretty good, although she got a really nice ride from Miguel Maida.
Yeah, very good trip and ride, but she also won it pretty handily. It's only a neck margin, but she won that race pretty handily. I'm with you. Her prior two races, I thought they were good. She closed ground late in that Tawi, but she was never getting up. I was pretty disappointed she didn't win that race 3 starts back, but she's clearly improved for this trainer.
Maybe a price play, at least underneath at 15-1. Chastise goes out for the Pletcher barn. Came off of a long layoff to win at Saratoga. She got a nice trip, though, that day to win at 21-1. She's got a lot of upside potential, but this is a big class hike.
I think that's what you like most about her, is that she's just so lightly raced, and it's only her second start as a 3-year-old. She could certainly improve again and win this race, but she will have to improve again. I mean, not to take too much away from her for winning off that long layup at Saratoga, but she got a little lucky to win. She got a great trip in that race.
Empress of the Nile was only beaten 3/4 of a length in her turf debut way back at Gulfstream by Proctor's Ledge. Proctor's Ledge, of course, has now gone on to be a multiple graded stakes winner. Empress of the Nile was still stuck in the maiden ranks until last time out at Saratoga, when she had a nice soft trip on the lead to win. But with a pretty solid 84 buyer speed for a big step up in class.
Big step up in class. I guess you do it off of the best race of your career, and that's fine, but boy, it feels like she's going to have to improve again. She had all the best of it last time.
Timeform U.S. Pace Projector time for the Sands Point Stakes at Belmont. We've got the 9, Defiant Honor on the lead. Defiant Honor's got this really strong pedigree. She's won 2 out of her last 3 starts. She had an excuse when she was the beaten favorite in the Lake George. Dave Grenning reports that she displaced that day. You liked her last time out in the risk averse, and it was just a solid, close to the pace performance. And if I was Nick Juarez, I'd let her roll from the gate and make the top.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't just come out of their run. Jose Lezcano gave her a great ride last time. He sent her from the gate, and then once Cherry Lodge, who was the favorite, sort of went out there winging it and cleared off, he landed in a perfect trip in that race. Defiant Honor did the rest and got the job done. I'm with you. Juarez should just send her out of the gate like Lezcano did last time. If for some reason, a horse like Empress of the Nile, who has speed, decides that she wants to go forward, that's fine. Let her have the lead and track her. You're probably better than she is. That's a great trip for this horse. I'm a little concerned about 9 furlongs for her. I'm not sure how far she really wants to go, but I think she's good, Dan. I'm giving her, besides the apparently displacing in that race 2 starts back, I'm going to give her another excuse for that race because I don't think she got the greatest trip or ride in the world, and they're sort of in behind horses for a long way. I think she's good, and I like her in this race.
Top pick time for the Sands Point. You are going to go with the number 9. That is Defiant Honor, 5-1 on the morning line. You're going 9, 8, 6, and 2. I wonder if Uni can roll from the back of the pack in here. I liked her a little bit in the Belmont Oak. She had a great ride from Arad Ortiz, basically saving ground every step. I think that 1.25 miles was testing it for Uni, and it was really due to Arad that she was able to finish 3rd. In the Lake Placid last time out, she was bet hard when La Coronel was cold on the board. They really sprinted home, and I think Uni might have been just a little bit too far back because she was running late. She just couldn't catch that good horse, Proctor's Ledge.
It was a really good performance last time. I mean, if you believe the fractions, to me they're a little hard to believe, but when she's swinging wide from last and they're coming 22-2 and then 11-1 on the back end, you're probably not going to get up, but she made up a lot of ground into that pace.
Problem is she's probably likely to get bet again off of that good effort. 9-8-6-2 for Mike, 6-9-10-2 for me in the Grade 2 Sands Point Stakes. The feature race at Belmont on Saturday has an approximate post time of 5:45 Eastern. Best of luck.